Well, hello. Welcome to the Listen to the Music podcast. I'm sort of by myself, but also sort of with my normal co-host in a different way. We are with the Last Band on Jupiter. Their debut album came out in December, but I'm going to kind of let them talk about that a little bit. Who would like to start with introductions?
Let's let the lead singer do that.
Oh, well, you know this guy here. His name's Carl Dodson. He plays the electronical guitar.
Yes, I do.
And he's amazing, and he sings some songs. Over here we have Chris Brown. He is the drummer, singer on this project. And then we have Vic Hoffmeister, who is the phenomenal bass player on it. And my name is Larry O'Neill, and I play guitars and ukuleles, and I sing.
Awesome. So where did the idea behind this project come from? Because you guys have all kind of worked together on different projects, but what made you want to do this one?
Well, Carl and I used to play in an old Dixieland funeral dirge band back in the day.
Is that what it was known as?
Called Hotel Faux Pas.
Welcome to the 90s.
Well, that was the 1890s, if I remember right.
Yes.
And so we played together for a long time, 30-something years, I would say. But anyway, with Hotel Faux Pas, Chris Brown joined us a few years ago on drums for a series of reunion shows. After that kind of sort of petered out a little bit, I thought, well, this is too much fun to not keep it going. This was a new incarnation, so we recruited Vic to fill in on bass, and we wrote a bunch of new songs. And this thing called Last Band on Jupiter took flight, and that's what we're proud of being part of right now, and looking forward to our debut live concert.
Yes. So, oh my gosh, I lost my train of thought there. So you guys have, like I said, worked together before. How do you feel like this is maybe a little similar? How do you feel like it's maybe a little different? Anybody can answer that one.
Carl, what do you think?
I think.
How's this different from Hotel Faux Pas? Because it's a little bit the same, but it's a little bit different.
It's a little bit different. The collaboration between people is different. So the songs do have a different edge than what Faux Pas had. But in a much more modern way, in a newer way. So to speak. You know, and the Larry's songwriting has always been fun to play too.
Yeah.
His nice use of different chords to end phrases from time to time.
My songs are ridiculous, and I'm so blessed to have people who don't mind playing ridiculous, goofy, quirky songs that I write. So
we mind, we just don't say anything.
Oh, that's yeah. There's that.
Well, I mean, off of that, how would you categorize this project? Would you, what category would you put it under? What genre, maybe? What to get people to come into it who maybe base their listening off that?
It is a tough one, and Vic here plays in a number of cover bands and tribute bands and things like that. So this is one of his few original acts, I think. So the only one. So Vic, how do you feel like this is different from your other jobs?
Well, it's when you're in a cover band, you're basically mimicking somebody else's parts, whereas in this type of thing, which I've been in original bands before, but it's been a while, and I really missed being able to come up with, have the input to actually create something rather than just, copy what the guy did on the original record. So
yeah,
I think it's interesting to work together in this situation because in Faux Pas, I was learning essentially the songs that had already been established. Mm-hmm. This, at least, I have more input. So, for example, there are several songs that we've already changed the original vision, and primarily a lot to do with what I had to say, a completely different feel of the songs, and it's nice to have a collaboration and that folks, will allow that to happen to something that they've created.
Yeah, that speaks back again to that collaboration and that working together to come up with an end product that everyone is happy with. So.
What would you say is the first step that you guys take when you don't know what should come next and what you're working on for this project? Like, did you have a specific person that you went to ask, like, hey, what should I do here? Or did you, what was that process like?
Well, for me, the process is that I sit down with the guitar and I write some lyrics and I write some music and I kind of record a demo, and then I bring it to these guys, or I'll bring it to Chris next, the drummer, and we'll start kind of making it into a song based on the rhythms and the meter and how drums can work with it. After we get that put down and it starts to flesh out more, then Vic comes in and he puts down his bass parts on all these songs, and finally Carl on guitar
And I do the last part.
does the last part, and he, often will do 6 or 7 or 8 different guitar tracks that really make the whole song come together, and then we put it all together, and it's a real song.
Well, I'm gonna get my bias question out of the way with while we're here. Then, what made you pick the 2 songs of my dad's that you picked on here?
Oh, we don't need to.
No. I would ask that up anyways.
Carl wrote 3 new songs for this project, and I loved all 3 of them, but one of them I thought was a little too hard rock, especially because the venue we were going to go into, we were trying to get booked at, was a folk club. And I thought, this song is really not going to play in a folk club. So, but the other 2 are great. And to be honest, now that I think back on it, I don't think any of these songs would pass us in a folk club at this point, because they all turned out to be a little bit edgy, pretty energetic and powerful. And we played that way.
Well, you asked how we would categorize this. It kind of can't be defined because it seems as though the songs are very eclectic as a group. We've got everything from calypso type thing to rock. Rock's in there for sure.
50s song.
50s,
Surfing
music, country shuffle.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just so many different things that it really is difficult to pigeonhole. So if we've got folks following us, it's probably going to be because they like eclectic stuff and not just one solid genre, because that's not what we do.
Right. I'm kind of the folk aspect of it, and then when these guys, they are the rock aspect of it. So when it all comes together, it's kind of a folk rock thing still.
Right.
Okay. I've pinpointed questions for everybody, so don't think I was just calling you out there, Dad. I'm going to go to you next.
Okay.
I noticed while listening, and maybe I was wrong and my ears were deceiving me, but I noticed on the recordings that you were using your electric set. How do you feel like that changes the sound of a recording?
Well, there's some pluses and minuses. There's a consistency to the sound that is possible. You don't have to worry so much about mic placements and one thing being louder than the other than just having them all separated. But it seems to mimic enough that it works with the songs that we have established at this point. And there are variations of different kits that can be used, different sounds. For example, the song "Finger in the Pickle Jar," that kind of a reggae calypso kind of kit, which I couldn't produce if I had my standard stuff. So it seems to work. I'm pretty proud of the way it sounds, and we may or may not continue to use it that way. We'll just see how it goes. But I thought it was a pretty believable sound for much of what we do, and it is so easy to control.
Yeah,
that's the key. I think it is easy to record, easy to control. When you go digital like that, it's you've got that in your back pocket without the.
Made the mixing easier?
Yeah, it really did.
2 channels versus 12.
Yeah.
Now, when we play live, he'll play with this acoustic kit, and that'll be a little slightly different sound altogether. And we won't get to do the calypso reggae sound with Finger in the Pickle Jar, but
there are some electronic assistants that will be available.
Oh, so okay. Nice.
Never say never.
Okay. Good.
Write that down.
I like the sound of that.
Now, for you, Larry, like, as someone who's heard your stuff for their entire life, you definitely have a very unique, very noticeable style with the way that you write and the way that you make your songs. How would you
Take that as an
say?
insult.
How would you say it has changed as you've gotten older and has changed with this different project?
That's the problem. It hasn't changed. I'm still the same goofball curmudgeon that I always was. And these guys know what to expect when I bring a song to them. And they can play it without even having heard more than a verse of it. So I love that they know me and they know my stuff, and they can hop right in and make it 1,000 times better.
Do you feel really lucky that you found people that get you right off the bat, and it hasn't taken a while to?
Yeah, no,
sort
I mean,
out?
that was, for me, that was always the great thing about Hotel Faux Pas was being able to write some stupid words and strum some chords on guitar, and then bring it to the guys in the band and have them actually make it into a song. So I love that. I'm controlling a little bit more of that right now because I like to record multiple parts and do harmonies and ukulele parts and things like that, and then bring it to the guys. It's a little bit more fleshed out than just strumming some chords and saying, you guys make this into a song, but they really bring it together. And yeah, I'm very fortunate to know guys that can do that.
I am interested to ask, kind of individually, what song did you have the most fun recording? Which one was the most enjoyable to do?
That's a tough. All the songs on this project were fantastic. The vision was there, and so the album has a great cohesiveness to it.
It really does. For me, I think I brought Finger in the Pickle Jar in very late in the process because I felt like we didn't have a song that was a good album opener. And when I brought that, I kind of had something in mind, and then Chris brought in his kind of calypso kit with steel drums in there, and that really, I wasn't envisioning that at all, but it was so much fun to hear that, and that beat and that sound really brought that song to life, I think. We also didn't have an album closer that I thought was that was going to work for us. So that I wrote a song called "Trade You for a Dirt Bike," and these guys really made that rock and everything. And it's a great album closer. Probably be our show closer. It's got a lot of power to it, and it's just a lot of fun.
That's probably the one that was the most fun for me, because not only did I get to do a really kicking drum part, but I got to do the horn parts too on keys, and so that was fun for me. So yeah, that one was the most fun for me.
Mine's Go Ugly Early.
Is what
Go Ugly Early. Yeah.
Vic's mentioning "Go Ugly Early," which is kind of an old 1920s style gangster song. So it's the only song on the album that sounds or feels like that. So that's different too. But yeah, it's a lot of fun too.
Well, and the cool thing for you do a lot of historical background on the songs, which is fun. A lot of people may not know that stuff, but if you look some of it up, like all of that in the Go Ugly Early, you explained to us, and it's a pretty cool story.
Yeah.
So
Larry gives a history lesson in every song.
There is some narrative balladry going on a lot of my songs.
Hopefully
Too.
it'll jog
It's
people
great. It helps
into
paint the
reading
image.
up on the subject. Write about it.
Yeah. Some things fascinate me, and I try to convey that in song. So, and Carl is great too, as far as writing some cool pop songs, and his rock songs with all of his various rock influences are come through in a lot of in his songs too. So talk about that a little bit.
No, my two songs they come from my '90s background, along with the fact that I love the '70s classic rock as well as the '80s new wave stuff. So it kind of comes in there, but really it fits that '90s band vibe for what I was playing in my younger years.
And those sensibilities come out in the songs.
The introspectiveness of it, singing about your feelings is basically what it is.
Yeah, I remember when those two songs when you brought to the band, and my first question was, "Is everything okay, Carl?"
Right. Yeah. There's one song on there. It can be a little bit of a sad song, but it was more of a therapeutic song for me.
Good.
To get it out and get it on there. And I was happy that you chose it.
Oh,
Because I was hoping it would not be sitting by itself somewhere in a bin.
It's really fun to play.
On the album, so.
It may be a little slower, a little more dour than some of the other songs, but it's just as much fun to play, I think.
Yeah. Pretty atmospheric.
On that feeling, though, I mean, the valedictorian song, I love playing that.
Yeah,
Because we're going to go in the minor key.
We've all met people like that. It's a great ode.
Kind of
to those
reminded me of
losers.
being in high school again.
That's a song that starts out very serious and slow, and Chris plays piano on that, and it seems like it's going to be a very serious song, and like 3 verses in, it turns into something totally else. So they're totally different.
Every time I hear you sing that, I picture people that I went to high school with. Oh, that's
Same
the
here.
guy, yeah.
Yeah.
You kind of associating real people with the
Mm-hmm.
characters in the song.
I hope next spring that we can get that out there more, and people who are graduating can hear that and make a connection.
That would be great for that, yes.
Play it at a graduation party or
Yes.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Insert name.
Right.
Doing my other podcast project that I do, I talked to some authors recently, and they talk about writing as you're either a pantser or a plotter.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm curious, is that similar in music? Do you find that you're more of a plotter? You know exactly what you want to write when you go in, and you make sure it gets down on paper the exact way you want it, or do you kind of just fly by the seat of your pants when you're writing something?
Well, as a fiction writer, I'm both. I am a pantser and a plotter. I do extensive outlining, but I also fly by the seat of my pants when it comes to writing. And I'm in the middle of a third novel right now, and it is 60,000 words in, and I have no idea where it goes next. But it's been fun to write, and I have complete faith that something will click along the line. As far as songs go, it starts that way. It starts with maybe just a vague idea. When I wrote Go Ugly Early, it was going to be about a gangster in Indiana who frequents a bar back in the 20s, a speakeasy. And then when I introduced the character of his girlfriend, then it developed into a problem for him in that she can't stop eating all the sweets at the chocolate shop. So that's what it kind of melded into. So I didn't start it that way, but as being more of a pantser when I write, it developed into that.
I want to preface this by saying I'm not going into this, trying to be mean or anything, but this is it's a newer project, and you guys are not guys in your 20s anymore. How do you feel pulling in a younger crowd into a project like this? What's your strategy there? Do you just hope they find it and think it's interesting, or are you going for a crowd more? I don't want to say your guys' age because that sounds mean, but
I think we'll go for whoever will listen. I think we do things like podcasts that we might not have done when we were younger. But I think just getting some information out there. I mean, internet's the thing, right? And so where people used to, I guess the biggest challenge is getting people to initially listen. And this is where things like podcasts come in.
Podcast, the albums on all the streaming services.
Yep.
Correct.
Yeah.
And just because I'm in my 30s now doesn't mean I'm old.
yeah.
Larry, you have socks older than 30.
I'm wearing that today.
We do have a show coming up.
When is that show, Carl?
It is in April at Power Creative.
April
I believe
4th.
Yes, April 4th. And that's over by Tower Grove. Park there
Totally
in
cool.
St.
venue.
Louis.
It's a fun
Great
venue.
It's a remodeled church interior.
Looking forward to that. It's also the night before Easter, so I'm hoping that we can have some Easter fun too that night.
Maybe play Alleluia. as part of the
Throw some
strat.
Easter eggs
I
out
was
to the
thinking
crowd.
about hiding Easter eggs out there for people that
We have the
to
audience
find.
have an Easter egg hunt.
Right. And I thought so one of the last Hotel Faux Pas shows that we did, the very last Hotel Faux Pas show we did a couple years ago, we had a QR code that linked to all the lyrics that we were playing. People like to follow along to our lyrics with Hotel Faux Pas. And a lot of times they complain that we can't understand the lyrics. Your lyrics are so funny and so different, but we can't quite understand them. So I said, all right, I'll fix that. So we created a website with all the lyrics for that show. And people could come in and just scan a QR code, and that would open up on their phone. So I'm thinking about doing that too with this show, so they can follow along and
Great idea.
sing along if they want to probably to songs they've never heard, but
Well, this is a big question, but where did the name come from? Where did the album art come from? Let's get into all that.
Chris, you want to take this one?
Yeah, so Larry came up with an endless list of potential names, all of which I thought were bad. And
He rejected
I
quite a few.
rejected.
I had a few in there.
I think
You got a few
I mean,
names
not like,
or rejections.
not like I was the gatekeeper, but I mean, one of us to not agree. And this was the one that seemed to strike. I would show people, I mean, look at all of these names that he has come up with, and I had probably a half a dozen people review them all. And one that came up, if they were going to vote, Last Band on Jupiter was the one that seemed to be the most accepted. But some of them were pretty. I didn't want angels, I didn't want devils, I didn't want
Saints.
saints. Yeah, and then no, there was enough.
Science Fair Saints, I thought was a fun name. But Chris shot that one down.
Yes, just because.
There was the Larry O'Neill group featuring Larry O'Neill and the Larry O'Neill Players.
Yes.
What was that?
And then it was
I know
Larry
you're
and the
right.
O'Neillers.
Larry and the O'Neillers.
So we
So,
had a lot of fun with that name.
We did.
yeah, you did.
We had to put that in parentheses in our Last Band on Jupiter.
Yes. As far as the album art goes, I just the album. I wanted something for the album art that was detached from reality. So 2 sand crabs wrestling on the beach seemed right.
His initial
Yes, it
offering
did.
was a I don't know, a shelf that had a jar with a finger in a pickle jar, and I thought that was just So I guess I vetoed that one as well.
You're the vetoer.
I guess self-elected.
Little too on the nose, but our first song on the album is called "Finger in the Pickle Jar." So I thought, okay, that would relate there. But then I decided let's go with something that totally doesn't relate to anything. So we get sand crabs.
This can kind of be a question for anybody. Not that any of the other ones weren't, but
I picked Vic. I picked Vic.
yeah.
Okay.
You've worked in other projects. You've worked with music for a long time. How do you feel that your musicianship has changed, your camaraderie has changed as you've gotten older? How do you feel like your presence in music has changed throughout your life to lead you to this
You
project?
seem to be picking on our age an awful lot in this.
Well,
It's
I am a
called
youngin' trying to learn.
Yes.
Experience.
Experience questions.
Yeah.
Euphemism for old people.
Well, I think from my perspective, I kind of feel like, I was really intense when I was younger about band stuff, and would really be, just too serious about it, and I like being more relaxed, and I think that comes with age and doing it for a long time. And one of the things I love about this band is, we're all pals as well as bandmates, and we have a good time hanging out and playing music together and so forth. So it's just, from my perspective at least, I just like having a more relaxed attitude about things, and
I'll second that answer. I know in the past I always felt like the other band members were out to get me, and now it's like, no, that was never the case.
Here it's just hidden.
It's
just
hidden. Oh, it's just hidden. I'll just turn a blind eye to it.
hey, we're just good about talking behind your back.
We're still out to get you, Carl.
Good.
But we're out to get you gifts.
We will talk.
Okay.
We will talk to the
Definitely
front
did.
of your back.
I have a Christmas present for you. So.
Okay.
Oh, there you go.
But it is something that we've matured. I know that I'm playing better now, I think, than I did in certain aspects of my career. So I think all of us, that's one thing that's very nice, is when we've come together, it takes very little time for all of us to get down and get to the crux of the music. So I think it's, we've paid dues to get to where we are, and it's nice to also have the involvement of people of a similar ability level, and just I think we've had enough of the garbage from the past to recognize when we've got a good group of people, and nobody seems to have any head trips or any of that kind of stuff, and so
No ego.
yeah.
And you can hear that on the album. You can see the joy in us playing when you come out to see us on the 4th of April at Power Creative.
In Tower Grove.
Second to last question for you guys. Whether it's playing music in this project, in your other projects by yourself, what would you say is your favorite part about being a musician? Oh, the silence.
No, not silence. It's more just trying to encapsulate that.
Picking up the instrument and the happiness that it brings you, or brings me in particular. Because I know I can't wait to get home from work and pick up a guitar.
Yeah.
And
I can't figure out what to pick up because I play a lot of different things, but it is a definite joy. It's gotten me through most of the tough parts of my life. It's enjoyable if you sit down for 15 minutes and that's all you got.
Yep.
Or if you have an entire weekend to work on a project or whatever. It's just, I just enjoy playing, and especially performing, but the whole process, writing, playing. Nobody enjoys practicing, but it does help you get better at things. And so I don't think I've had more moments playing music than just about anything, aside from, of course, loved ones, that sort of thing. But as far as life,
yes,
life is music for me.
Yeah. Same here, pretty much. Yeah. I especially like playing, and I'm fortunate that everything I'm involved with musically, I'm doing with people who are my friends for the most part.
For the most part.
Yeah.
Little qualifier there.
There's a couple of
some of us are
clickers.
just casual acquaintances. So.
But generally, it's everything I'm involved with in this band, probably more than any of them, or at least as much, is just what I was talking about earlier, the camaraderie. Doing something you really, really love doing with other people who love doing it, and you're we all like the same kind of stuff, so.
We like to poke fun at Larry as much as possible.
Yeah, that's true.
That happens a lot, yeah.
But just,
Yeah.
doing stuff with people who are of like minds and enjoy the same type of music. It's, it's not like Chris is a huge jazz fan. That's all he wants to do. Or, we're all, we like the similar type of things, musically speaking.
Yeah. And for me, this will sound monumentally corny, but it's really the brotherhood for me, because I didn't have any brothers growing up, so it's so nice to have guys to play music with. And when you're one quarter in a 4-man band, and each one of those quarters is equally as important as the other, it's really special when that all comes together, and the 4 quarters become a whole, and you're a family. You are brothers united in the family of music.
And the whole is greater than the sum of its parts.
Indeed.
Write that down too. I think that's going to be a big thing.
Okay, well, the final question. On the normal podcast, we end by talking about what we're currently listening to and what our ears are obsessed with. What are your ears obsessed with right now? Other than this, maybe. Or maybe it is this.
Well, I've literally been listening to our album quite a bit this week. And not so much listening for, oh, I should have done that better or whatever. I think I'm proud of what we've done on this thing. And will continue to be so. So not that I'm obsessed with it. I'm obsessed with instrumental funk, actually. When I'm not doing this, I listen to that quite a bit. But really, this music has been fun, and it's the more I listen to it, the more I like it. So that's it for me.
Who's next?
I listen to whichever band I have coming up for rehearsal. I listen to a lot of that.
That's
smart. And so, I've been listening to basically this album along with Crimson and then Beatles, and keeping that in my head all the time.
Interesting playlist.
Yeah,
for sure.
And then once any of the other things get booked up.
Oh yeah, me.
Then,
Oh yeah,
the
That
winery
one.
gigs get booked up, then I'll be listening to that playlist as well. So really, it's just whatever I have to really dig into that's got a gig coming
The
up.
practical approach.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Just most of my music listening time is taken up by stuff that I have to learn or practice or whatever. But I've been listening to a lot of like 90s kind of pop rock bands lately, like Crowded House and Toad the Wet Sprocket, that kind of stuff. I've been really getting into that stuff again too.
Okay.
I mean, actually listening to a lot to Addams Family.
The soundtrack.
Yes.
The musical soundtrack.
Yes, I also do community theater orchestral work, so a couple of those shows. Between that and Mamma Mia coming up. So.
Ooh.
Wow.
Lots of ABBA coming up.
Oh boy. And I've been listening to the 7 new songs that I wrote for the second album. Hopefully we can start recording that this summer. So
Did you say 70?
7 new songs.
Oh, okay. I said 70.
70 new songs? Well,
By spring it might be.
by spring, guys.
Damn, he's prolific.
None of the rest of us could get on the album because he writes all of the songs. I got some coming. I just they're not
You better.
ready.
That's okay.
Good.
Okay, well, thank you guys so much, and plug the show again. Somebody, date,
It
time,
is
place.
April 4th, Saturday, April 4th, at the Power Creative in Tower Grove, South, St. Louis.
Be there.
What time?
We don't know yet.
We don't have the time on
We don't
that.
have the time.
Don't have the time on that.
It's nighttime.
Yeah.
indeed.
Okay, well, thank you guys so much.
Thanks for having us.
I would ride off into the sunset.